like these plans, there are some changes coming up to them with the changes in the Act.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go into that a bit, because you'll have better understanding about them. I know they've made the plans longer and you've got to review them so often. But so do you want to just chat about that?
Yeah, this year's a big year, Brady, for that for the plans, for long-term plans, and it's an exciting time to be in the industry. So previously 10-year plans was the minimum, and really I think what's happening this year, the headlines, if you like, the headlines for this year are, and it's not, the long-term plan stuff starts kicking in May next year, but you've got to be prepared this year. So with the Unit Titles Amendment Act, it's got a very long title. I can't remember all of it, but the Amendment Act there. The key things that are coming in this year is there's a lift in the disclosure regimes. So I think long-term plans are going to be lifted up in buyers' awareness. So disclosing you've got a long-term plan, disclosing when it was made, how long it is, when it needs to be reviewed. We've done a stock take across the board, and there are a lot of out of date plans out there that haven't been reviewed. So they haven't, they've had a 10-year plan, but they've chewed up 7 years of it, so they've only got a 3-year plan.
Yep.
So there might be something sitting out there that catches someone out. So I think that's going to lift it up in the buyer's awareness. More savvy buyers are going to be going, well, what's your plan? Have you got enough money for the work you need to do? What is the work you need to do? So that's going to bring that. There's a tightening up of the requirements around long-term plans, and there's some subtleties and nuances that are being sort of glazed over a little bit. But we love our work and we dive into the legislation and find out what's needed there. The obvious one is body corporates with 10 or more principal units need a 30-year plan, and that's going to drive the long-term thinking. It's going to drive the putting money aside for the bigger stuff, reducing the shock levies, and smoothing everything out so everyone can just get on with their lives. So that's a real important part. That's going to bring tension to the industry in terms of trying to get those conversions done this year. So if you've got a body corporate committee and AGM coming up, you want to put your budget aside so you've got time to do it before the May deadline next year. So it's kind of this year is the year for it. And there's some tightening up in that for the larger developments, they've got to have consulted with a suitably qualified professional when they review or set up their plans, unless they have a special resolution not to.
Right.
So that's sort of pushing the professionalism of the industry up a little bit. It's kind of this year is the year to do it in terms of those conversions, and we went through our database, and 91% of large developments don't have a 30-year plan.
True.
So there's going to be a bit of a push this year, I believe, to bring them up to 30 years. And as I say, the 10-year and 30-year thinking are quite different. 10 years what's in front of you, 30 years thinking about replacing pretty much anything that's spinning, mechanical, electronic, and sort of longer deteriorating items as well.
And how often do they have to be reviewed?
Every 3 years.
3 years. And that's still the same under the new Act?
Okay. The little nuance they brought in for larger developments is it's got to be consult with a suitably qualified professional.
Okay.
And you can opt out through special resolution, but that's just driving the professionalism and driving the plan to a point that the body corporate can get engaged with it and make decisions, because that's ultimately what it's about.